All right, Ag Apps. It is Wednesday, November the 4th. Yesterday, we did not have school, and we started this unit on November the 2nd on Monday. So today, we are going to wrap up our wildlife management notes, and then we have a little review to do. So, just to kind of review a couple things in the notes that we have been working on, we talked about the 4 benefits to humans. Not only can you just go hunting and fishing, but there's a lot of photography, some wildlife viewing, bird watching in particularly, and then environmental indicators. So, how healthy or unhealthy wildlife is in your area can be an indicator that there could be something wrong or that everything is thriving in a great condition. So we talked about the farm. Now we drew a farm on the board on class Monday, and we kind of labeled some of these areas as far as habitat, food, water, cover, and space. Probably the biggest thing to remember about the farm is that it is a byproduct of the family operation, right? So it is a byproduct. What that means is by having a healthy farm and by managing your farm correctly, you'll have a really diverse population. Like that's not your intent when you have a farm, but if it's managed correctly, that's what's going to happen. So that's what it means by a byproduct. Another thing you can do on your farm is if you have a lot of limbs or debris, or if you cut down any trees, if you leave all of that stuff in a pile and create a brush pile, that's going to provide a lot of cover and shelter. It's going to provide habitat for all of your small species, all of your small game birds. So it's a really good thing to do. Crop residue, whenever you harvest crops, if there's some crop residue, it's going to act as food for wildlife. Um, and they're both really good management practices. We did talk about forests. Now, forests are difficult to manage. I mean, if you think about it, if you have ever been walking through the woods, you've got a lot of fallen down trees, underbrush, all sorts of growth that you don't want. So, a forest is going to be hard to manage. Wetlands, the biggest thing about wetlands is that it's the most productive wildlife area management because your swamps, marshes, bogs, all of those types of areas, when we talk about wetlands, um, a lot of those, especially on the coast, you have fresh water mixing with salt water. So you have a really wide range of wildlife that are going to be in that area. And that's why it's really important to manage them. We talked about streams and ponds. Streams are obviously more difficult to manage because you can't control what somebody dumps in your stream further upstream from your property. So if somebody's putting pollutants in there and it washes down, there's nothing you can do to prevent that. Backyards, there are different things that you can do to attract wildlife. Maybe you have a bird feeder. Maybe you've planted like a wildflower garden so you can have butterflies, or planted some specific plants to attract hummingbirds. So there's all different things that you can do. So habitat is an area where an animal lives. Space is how much area a particular animal needs to move around. Cover is just that. It's an area that's going to provide protection for the animal. Territory, that's an area an animal's going to defend. And then carrying capacity. So it's the number of wildlife a habitat can support. So you may have a 3 acre plot of woods, but the carrying capacity for squirrels is going to be higher than the carrying capacity for deer. And that's because squirrels need a lot less area in order to live and live a happy life. Overpopulation can cause malnourishment, it can cause diseases. And once that happens, animals are going to be more focused on living than reproducing. So, wildlife quality. If there is a large area or a high carrying capacity for those animals, the quality of their life is going to be better. Pretty easy. Okay. Hunting and fishing, um, whether or not you're for hunting or for fishing, um, it does provide a very necessary tool. If you didn't have those, then you would have excess animal populations and then you will run into malnourishment and diseases. So pretty simple. Remove some game that would be lost. Um, and then some species in North Carolina. There's a lot more. We have deer, duck, bear, quail, dove, rabbits, turkey, cardinals, robins, bluebirds. There's all sorts of different things that we can have. Okay. And then a bird of prey is an animal, or excuse me, a bird that eats other animals. And so the most common ones in North Carolina are the red-tailed hawk, vulture, eagle, and owls. And that was our little section in wildlife management. Um, the review. So once you get done with those outlines, submit the outline and then also submit the review. The review is a fill in the blank. It's 14 questions. It's not going to take you very long to complete. So go ahead and get this knocked out and get them both submitted before the end of class today. And if you have any questions, let me know and I will see you all tomorrow.